from the Bible, even though it wasn't correct, and then they applied it to like, oh, I don't know, OnlyFans and outlawed it, would they be doing something about degeneracy or not?
Doing something about degeneracy. You
answer the question.
Okay.
Would they or not?
It's such a convoluted, weird
yes
question.
Yes or no?
If you made up a rule and then you put it into law, can you call it Christian nationalism?
Yeah. Would it do something about degeneracy?
That doesn't make any sense. I don't even know how to make sense.
Answer the fucking question.
It's an incoherent question.
What's incoherent about it?
If I make up something,
you
call it Christian nationalism.
It. How can you steelman it and then still not answer it?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Andrew Wilson demolishes this woke moron who attacks him in this heated debate. As Andrew Wilson pushes to stop degeneracy in America, this clown attempts to trash Andrew Wilson's interpretation of the facts, and Andrew simply outclasses this soy fool and absolutely humiliates him. Let's get in.
So would you say that in the early 1700s, the nation fit your definition of Christian nationalism, America specifically?
Not what we would currently advocate for. No.
Why not?
Well, because it's a different society and a different social order. Because of that, there's going to be different prescriptions which are applied.
Well, I'm not asking if that model would apply to today. What I'm asking is, did that model fit back then? Oh, what would be required for Christian nationalism, seeing as would be the majoritarian culture of the time?
Yeah, well, I think within individual states you can make that case. You can make that case in the national level.
But was it the overall culture of the 13 colonies at that point?
Yes, that it was very much Christian, yes.
So that would be a Christian nationalism of that time, according to your definition.
It would at least be a nation of Christians, but not. It would have nothing to do with the current advocation of what we're talking about when we say Christian nationalism.
What's the difference?
Because you're making a comparison between two very different government and social orders.
So are you saying Christian nationalism can only exist today and it couldn't exist back then?
No, I'm saying that Christian nationalism, as we're presenting it today, is advocating for a distinct set of beliefs based on the current social and societal order. So any comparison you make to the 1700s is not going to apply to what our social prescriptions currently would be.
All right, give me an example.
Like they didn't have OnlyFans.
Okay.
That would be an example
of
a specific social policy which Christian nationalists would advocate for that they wouldn't be advocating for at the time. They may have advocated anti-prostitution or various things like this in various states, but the prescriptions are going to be different.
So what is the Bible's prescription, seeing as Christianity is defined by the Bible? What's the Bible's prescription for people who are not saved but have sexual desire? What should they do?
They should get married.
Right. Okay. So you believe that somebody who is not a Christian can get married?
Yeah. So what we would say is this, and this is what both the Orthodox and Catholic Church, I think, would say, that is a movement towards Christ. It's at least some movement towards it, but only if the confines of the marriage were set with the same religious adherence that you would set to as Christians. So, for instance, if you say two men get married, right?
Yeah, obviously that's out of bounds.
That wouldn't be a movement.
No, obviously not.
Yeah, that wouldn't be God using what's evil for good.
But then my question is, why did you say Lauren Chen was sinning when she told non-Christians to get married, and that was the way to go?
Because what she wasn't advocating for was within the confines of those marriages that they be adhered to in a religious way.
Yeah. So what
social pressure, in other words, comes from the state in order to keep. So if you're Catholic, for instance, you're Roman Catholic, you get a divorce, right?
Yeah.
You can't get a divorce. The only thing you can get is an annulment, right?
And there is no divorce in the Bible, actually, and there is no annulment either.
And on top of that, yeah, there's divorce in the Bible. You're
no,
wrong.
There's not. Matthew 5:32 says if you marry a divorced woman, you commit adultery. And 1 Corinthians 6:9 says, and adulterers do not inherit the kingdom of heaven. Romans 7 verses 2 and 3 says that a woman, if she marries a man while her husband is still alive,
if you talk louder, it's not going to make your point better.
If you're an adulterer, you're going to want to pay attention.
Real quick, Corinthians.
Adulterer, you're going to want to pay attention, okay? So Romans 7, verses 2 and 3 says, a woman, if she marries another man while her husband's still alive, shall be called an adulteress so long as her husband liveth. But if her husband dies, then she can marry anyone but in the Lord, and she is no adulteress.
Should I take your word for it, or should I take 2,000 years of church history?
I think everybody can pull up their phone, look up Romans 7, 2 and 3, look up Matthew 5:32, look up all these passages.
Am I allowed to respond, or are you just going to
look up Luke 16,
am I allowed to respond,
look up Mark 10, look up Matthew 19.
Or are you just going to filibuster?
I think I made my point. Go ahead.
Okay, great. The Bible's a liturgical document. It's not for eggheads like you to make decisions on what the Bible's actually saying or not, because you have a loose interpretation. You have to put
I have a very tight interpretation.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
You're saint who? Of which church?
Okay. Clement of Alexandria agrees with me in I think it's book 2, chapter 23 of, I forgot what the name of the book is, but it starts with an S. But I can give you the quote. I do have it on my phone. Also, Saint Augustine of Hippo
Yeah,
agrees
so
with
let me
me.
give a response.
Tertullian agrees with me.
Let me give a response.
Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, no, you're
Yes.
actually wrong. So let's go to Corinthians, in fact, all right? Are you allowed to divorce if there's adultery?
You're not allowed to remarry.
Are you allowed to divorce if there's adultery?
Actually, no.
You're not allowed to divorce if there's adultery.
You're actually thinking about Matthew 19:9.
I just
You're not
want to
thinking
make,
about 1 Corinthians.
I just want to make sure.
You know why?
Hang
You
on,
know why?
did-
Because Matthew 19:9
Yeah.
is the discussion between the Pharisees and Jesus
Yeah,
on
I just wanna
Deuteronomy
make sure.
24.
Yeah, can you divorce for adultery or not?
Only in Deuteronomy 24 for hardness of heart. And number two, otherwise you fall into the Schrodinger's marriage problem, which is they used to teach why can the innocent party remarry, but the guilty party can't? Because
So-
because why, if the marriage is over, why
Okay.
can't the guilty party
You
remarry?
know what? I'll do this a different way.
Yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
just grant it. I'll
Sure.
just grant that your interpretation here is correct.
So no
as you
divorce,
prattle it
no
off.
remarriage.
Yeah, let's just grant it for
Sure.
a second. Is Christian nationalism advocating for that?
Yours is, clearly.
Show me.
Oh, you just said it right here because
didn't.
you said it wasn't in the purview of Christian nationalism to do that.
I said, this is what I said. Roman Catholics say you can't get divorced. That's what I actually said, right?
That's one of the things you said.
No, that's the only thing I said.
No, that's not.
Yeah. When did I say that Christian nationalism says that you're not allowed to get divorced, even under specific circumstance of adultery? Can you tell me when I said that, sir?
Well, when you incorporated Christian into anything, you incorporate the Bible in anything.
I'm not incorporating your interpretation of shit. And
for-
not only that,
2 Peter
I have
1:21 says it's not open to
2,000 That's
interpretation,
great. I have
sir.
2,000 years of church history behind me. And
Then
not
why
only
don't
that-
you agree the church
not only
fathers on
that,
divorce and remarriage?
I do.
No, you
And
don't.
we have
No, you
modern
don't.
church
You don't
fathers.
agree with
What are
St.
you
Augustine?
talking about?
Read him on adulterous marriages then.
What?
Read him. You didn't read him.
Let me just ask you again, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Even if I grant all of this, currently, what Christian nationalists are advocating that if there was adultery, you couldn't get divorced? Name one.
That's not my point at all. But
Then what does it
my-
have to do with the prompt?
It has to do with you say Christian.
It has to do with my interpretation of the Bible. So therefore nothing.
My interpretation.
Your interpretation.
Are you kidding? Are you?
Yes.
So the Catholic.
No,
so
I'm
the
not
Catholic
kidding.
Church. Sorry, the Catholic Church did not say you can remarry after divorce. I'm sorry.
Does the
They
Catholic
they-
Church grant annulments?
Annulments aren't in the Bible, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, but do they grant annulments?
Yeah, but that's a fiction.
Okay, but
Annulments are a
do they
scam.
grant it, though?
Annulments are a scam.
So is there any
not in the
Christian
Bible.
nationalist saying
Show
that
me
if
an
there's
annulment in the
adultery,
Bible.
you can't get divorced?
Show me an annulment in the Bible.
Why would listen? Even if everything I believed about the Bible was totally incorrect and everything you believed was totally correct, right
Okay.
now the debate is about whether or not Christian nationalism, the advocation for Christian nationalism, can do something about degeneracy in society,
Yeah.
especially within the social order. And thus, you can name for me a single Christian nationalist who's advocating that even under terms of adultery can't get divorced. Your argument's totally irrelevant,
The problem
and it's
is
an
you're
argument
using
about
Christian
church
the
history.
same way the
Let me know your thoughts down below, but I think this guy on the right is just like a huge book nerd. Like, he lives inside of the Bible, and not to say there's anything wrong with that, but Andrew Wilson, I feel like, is more of the realist. Like, he's poking his head around, like looking around at what's actually happening in the real world. And you can go through every passage, you can go with this, you can make stuff look one way or the other. Like, it absolutely can be done. I'm not a huge, Bible knowing person myself, but you can do that with any document. But for those types of people who just get lost in the book and lost in, all of that, but they don't poke their heads around to see what's actually happening in the real world and cause and effect in what's changing something else down the line. It's like he still doesn't even have an answer really about stopping degeneracy. He's just trying to get Andrew Wilson on this one point, citing out like tons of passages, but I feel like he's missing the whole point altogether, in that we have a huge degeneracy problem overall in the United States, and we need something to combat it. And do you have an answer or not? And I don't think this guy on the right does. So he's one of those people that, I can trash your argument all day, but I don't have a solution myself. So I don't even know what's right. But let me know your thoughts down below, and hit that like button and notification bell if you're enjoying the video. And if you want to help support the channel, check out the link in the description, and let's get back in.
word woman. You can just mean whatever you want anytime you want. Christian this, Christian
Well,
that.
so could secularists.
Christian
I'm a secular humanist. I'm a secular not humanist. I'm a
Except-
secular vegan. You can
except
make up
that-
whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, except I'm not secular, so you're not dealing with that right now. So
What,
you have to,
what are
you?
you?
Have to, you have to go to the next.
What
I'm
are
a
you?
Christian. I'm a Christian.
What form of Christian under Christian nationalism are you advocating for no divorce?
Christian nationalism actually isn't in the Bible. You know what's in
Are
Matthew
you going to
28?
answer my
the Great
question?
Commission.
Answer my question.
I don't think Christian nationalism is a meaningful
Then
term.
why am I contending with you about Christian nationalism?
Because it's
you're
a
obviously not even advocating for it, bro. What are you talking
Well,
about?
how do I advocate for something called Christian that's not in the Bible?
Okay.
It doesn't make any
Yeah, yeah.
sense.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to take your personal interpretation of these things over my church's interpretation or the 2,000 years of history behind it from whatever crazy denomination you're from. And on top of that, you're not even advocating for any of this, so it's irrelevant. And on top of that, even if I granted the entirety of your argument, you need to show me a single person who's in the mainstream anywhere advocating for Christian nationalism that says you couldn't get divorced under the grounds of adultery.
Actually,
Just
I don't
one.
need to show you that at all.
Yeah, I know, exactly, because you have no argument.
Now tell me. I can show you the Bible.
Now let's try this.
Once you incorporate the word Christian, you immediately
now
bring the Bible to the table, and it's over.
Tell me this.
Yeah.
Is there any prescription against that you can think of from a secular angle that would actually address degeneracy in society or not?
Secularism has no angles.
Yeah, so nothing.
Yeah, I'm not secularist.
Nothing. So what? So is Christian nationalism uniquely positioned to do something about degeneracy in society?
Christian nationalism doesn't have anything to draw from because it's not a biblical concept.
Oh my God. Can they do something about degeneracy in society, even if it's fake?
Oh, tell me a policy that you can pull from the Bible that you can call Christian national.
Okay, let's say that they made a justification that was in the Bible that was fake. Let's just say it was fake. They were wrong.
Why would they
let's just say
fake prompt?
from their own view, they were just totally incorrect about whatever the policy was that they were drawing from the Bible. But if they did draw it from the Bible, even though it wasn't correct, and then they applied it to OnlyFans and outlawed it, would they be doing something about degeneracy or not?
Doing something about degeneracy.
Answer the question.
Okay.
Would they or not?
It's such a convoluted, weird
yes
question.
Yes or no?
If you made up a rule and then you put it into law, can you call it Christian nationalism?
Yeah, would it do something about degeneracy?
That doesn't make any sense. I don't even know how to make sense.
Answer the fucking question.
It's an incoherent question.
What's incoherent about it?
If I make up something,
you
call it
just
Christian nationalism.
It. How can you steelman it and then still not answer it?
I don't understand what you're saying.
You don't understand what I'm saying?
I do not understand what you're saying.
So let's say that I pull up a biblical passage, totally misinterpret it compared to whatever your view is, then apply it as a matter of a law against some degenerate act that was going on, which curtailed the degenerate act. Would that do something about the degenerate act or not? Yes or no?
Sure, but you can't call it Christian if it's made up.
Yes, you can't call it Christian. You can't call it Christian because you have your own unique interpretation where you can't get married under adultery.
And read Augustine of Hippo on divorce or marriage. And you'll find that you don't have the church fathers, you don't have the Bible, you don't have reason, you don't have logic, you don't have anything.
Well, I just logically destroyed you, so
hardly.
It wasn't even hard.
Yeah, read Clement of Alexandria.
Yeah, I know.
Read Augustine.
But
there's a book called Divorce or Remarriage.
Can you do
by Chris
anything about
Iverson,
degeneracy absent right now in the political arena? Can secularists do anything about degeneracy or not?
Oh, secularists can do nothing.
Okay, great.
Okay, so let me get this straight. This guy is a Christian. He calls himself a Christian, but at the same time, he also says in the Bible, Christian isn't mentioned. So you can't use Christian. Like, first of all, that doesn't make any sense on its face. And this guy is basically just trying to say, he's trying to invalidate Andrew Wilson's entire argument by simply saying the things that you are doing is not actually Christian. Therefore, it's not like, it's just like, it's not valid somehow. But Andrew Wilson is looking at this from a consequential standpoint. Again, living in the real world, he's like, okay, even if I grant all you that stuff, but is there actually a consequence that happens in the real world as a matter of policy being instituted under this perspective? And the guy basically just tries to say, well, all of that doesn't matter because it's not actually Christian. Like, he's not even actually arguing the point of what Andrew Wilson is trying to say. He's just trying to undercut it and validate it by simply saying it's not Christian. That's his whole premise. That's his whole premise. Even though, you can't use Christian because it's not in the Bible, but he calls himself a Christian. Like, that's what this, those people who argue to win a point that serves absolutely no purpose and has nothing to do with what you're actually talking about, that's this guy. Like, that's this guy on the right. That's what he's doing right now. He's not even listening to the argument, but he's trying to win this own debate he has in his head between Andrew Wilson, and he's missing the whole point altogether. But thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought about what Andrew Wilson had to say, completely destroying this woke moron and his interpretation of Christianity and lack of effectiveness in basically anything. Take care, like, subscribe, and I will see you folks on the next one.